Valar Morgulis, Valar JAEHAERYS, Dovarungeri, Kelites, Dracaris, Munas Aldrizoti, Valerio Munoingos Nugis Isa, Skoros Mogot Vestri, Tubi Daor, Bantis sobre Isa Zeus Ingoti Lidas, Avi Jolalin. That was a little bit of Valyrian, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing something in particular. In particular, all of the thematic elements and everything I want to personally see from a House of the Dragon trailer. I predict that we're going to be getting some sort of teaser within the next 3 months, so sometime in fall, and we'll eventually be getting the Season 1 trailer, hopefully by my fucking birthday, which is January 1st. Edit there. I've actually been using images from an artist on Instagram. His name is Sander-Titgemeyer. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but their actual Instagram account is till_sand. Now, this guy basically does computer art. He does CGI, and he's really fucking good. I'm not sure if House of the Dragon has hired him yet, but go ahead and do so. The clip playing behind me right now is actually from his artist profile. But all of that aside, before we jump into the contents of this video, please do me a massive favor. If you've been watching my more recent videos, I'm sure you've heard about what's going on, and I've spent a bunch of time talking about that shit, so I'm not going to spend too much time in this video talking about it. But please, just do me a favor to help combat all of that. Do me 3 massive favors. The first one is slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 3. The second one is going to be make sure you're subscribed, and then after you subscribe, turn your notification, go down to that right-hand corner. You see that little bell? Click it, and then turn it all the way on. So that way, you'll get an alert every single time I drop a video throughout the Game of Thrones prequel series. Wait for Season 1. The show's going to be called House of the Dragon, but it's known on this channel, that whole time period of waiting is known on this channel as the Long Night. Alright, so this video isn't going to be very long, but there's 3 things in particular. The first one being who will be featured in the trailer. The second one being what are going to be the soundtracks and what are going to be the edit scheme. And then the third thing being is when do I think we're going to get the trailer. So I've actually kind of just discussed everything, so you don't even have to watch this fucking video. But no, jumping right into it. So it's pretty obvious to me who's going to be featured in the first trailer. Now, I think since I'm discussing so many different things, it's going to be like the trailer. These are not so much things that are going to be seen in the teaser. I think ideally for the teaser, for the first season of House of the Dragon, we want to see fucking dragons. All of Daenerys' dragons, aside from Drogon, died horribly. Now, she only had 3 to begin with, but this series has fucking 20. And one of the ways to showcase them is by showing them early on. We've already gotten some art for Caraxes. Let's see what Caraxes may look like on screen, like the video playing behind me. Let's see what it looks like before they completely finish. That would be perfect for a teaser. And obviously, they could add in the fire element of House Targaryen. Maybe even a few lines of dialogue from the show, and then like a hint of their track. But anyway, for the actual trailer for the first season, full on, I think we're going to get a little bit of Daemon, a little bit of Rhaenyra, a little bit of Alicent, and then obviously Corlys and Viserys. The main reason being is because this show will feature like 25 cast members for the first season alone, not including the sub-tier, the second-tier cast members. But the main-tier cast members are going to be like 20 fucking people. All of those people are going to have a pretty decent amount of dialogue in the first season. So it makes sense if this trailer sort of introduces us to these characters. In previous trailers, we would always get like what's going on in the north, what's going on in King's Landing, what's going on with Daenerys, right? So we could do that, and since all of these characters are pretty much in a similar location, we could see maybe different sides of King's Landing. So we'll feature the streets for Daemon. Obviously, he's known as the Lord of Flea Bottom, which is like a slight to him because Flea Bottom is like the shittiest part of King's Landing, which is, you know, the capital city, but it's just the shittiest city in general. So Lord Fleabottom to Daemon is a slight, but we could like show muck in you know, get a little bit of Daemon walking through the streets with maybe Massaria, and they could be like just sort of either talking to each other or just we have like a slow-mo, and we get to see Daemon's armor, which is really important. And maybe even a little bit of Dark Sister. And then for Rhaenyra, we could do Dragonstone. We could obviously look at a fully re-envisioned version of Dragonstone. This is like, you know, almost 2 centuries before Daenerys walks on the shore and grabs the sand. We could like get to see, most of, I would say, at least if they're going to adapt it properly, most of Rhaenyra's storyline kind of takes place in Dragonstone. Like, obviously, it takes place all across Westeros, but a good chunk of it in the beginning is going to be at Dragonstone. So if we're going to be featuring different characters, we could have Rhaenyra in Dragonstone, Daemon as Flea Bottom, and then going back to King's Landing, if we want to showcase more characters, obviously Alicent, that's when we show the small council room. Maybe we could get her talking with her father, and we see something like Alicent is pouring a glass of wine, and maybe standing in the same window that Cersei was standing in, looking at when the Sept of Baelor blew up. Like, obviously, that may not have existed at the book times, but this is the show's adaptation, so we could get, like, not Lannister backdrops, but House Hightower backdrops, and it's just a callback to, like, this is this show's version of Cersei. And then I think, keeping this video short and just moving it along here, I think it's obviously going to be quick, fast-paced edits. We're going to get glimpses of a battle scene. We're going to get glimpses of the dragons. Hopefully, we're going to get a few dragon riders. But I think there's also going to be a showcase in sea battles. Corlys, the sea snake, or Corlys Velaryon, has, like, the largest fleet in Westerosi history, at least for the TV show. And we're going to get to see, like, basically a more hyped up version of what we saw in the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, with Euron battling from his fleet, taking down dragons and sort of protecting King's Landing. We're going to get to see that in Corlys, and I hope we get to see sea battles in general. That's one of the things that comes with moving the hub of Game of Thrones in House of the Dragon, moving it from Northern Ireland and Belfast to the Titanic Studios, moving that to Leavesden, adds in a whole, like, thematic element of shit we get to see. And we saw leaked images of, I believe it was Rhaenyra, who was in some sort of a boat. Now, he's not actually wearing his wig, but that could just be because, like, they had to film a scene where maybe they're changing his death around a bit, and, he had to go and film certain scenes with a stunt double, but they are really close to the ocean, so really anything is possible with this new fucking studio. I can't wait. And then lastly, well, not really lastly, but kind of lastly, the sound, what is going to be the element that, like, pulls you in? Obviously, I don't mean, like, sounds of the dragon wings, but I mean, like, the theme song for this show. It's Game of Thrones theme song is so fucking iconic that even if you haven't seen the show, which is rare, you've probably been living under a rock, you've at least seen clips of it or heard of it, the song everyone knows. It just gets you hyped up. What if I just did that for the rest of this video? But no, like, I think it's going to have callbacks to Daenerys' Fire and Blood Targaryen theme, where it's, like, slow and somber, but it's going to build. It's got to be epic and cinematic, like the Game of Thrones theme. So I think it'll be something like, maybe I could, like, do my version of it or something and put it up on YouTube. But you all let me know how similar to the original theme, like the opening theme of Game of Thrones. Let me know down below if you think the House of the Dragon theme is going to be more similar to the opening theme to Game of Thrones, or more similar to the Daenerys theme, like one of the songs that's played in the background when she's doing shit, like Blood of My Blood or something. Or I guess it would actually be even fucking more awesome. My favorite song that was ever made by Ramin Djawadi for Game of Thrones was The Bells, like the episode for... the song for when Cersei's blowing up the Sept of Baelor, and, like, we're figuring out all of the shit she did with the wildfire. Like, it's not just my favorite in all of Game of Thrones. That's, like, my favorite in all of, like, cinema and film and, like, TV. That's that fucking theme. Like, I gotta know what was going on in Ramin's head, like, the inspiration. I'm sure I could look it up online, of what inspired him to build that. Like, it just, it was so fucking perfect, dude. There's very, very few matches around in film and TV that, like, go together as well as Cersei blowing up and killing everyone, and that song, it's so fucking good. But lastly, I already talked about this, so I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here. When is it going to come out? When are we gonna get the actual trailer? That we need it. I would like it, if it doesn't come this year, I would like it to come at the start of next year. Like, obviously, they're playing it the same way they did with Game of Thrones, where they don't necessarily feel like they have to build up the hype as much, because Game of Thrones is the biggest show of all time, the greatest series of all time. This show is a prequel to that. Obviously, even if it's half as good, it's gonna be way better than anything that's on television right now. So they feel like they could just sort of play it the same way. I hope they don't. I hope they release as much stuff as possible without giving away spoilers. Just because it's fucking awesome when that happens, and like it just gets me super excited, and it makes like making videos every day talking about different things like that much more exciting. I don't know, it just builds the fandom back up. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 3. If you enjoy my content, make sure you subscribe and cut those notifications all the way on. Super special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews, and a super special shout out to every single person who watched this video. My name is Mark. This has been Sir Hunt's Long Night Reviews. Oh, wow.